Hey, it's Devon from Retirement Wellness SA once more, and welcome to the next installment of this series, Your Life Cover Secrets. This is going to be power-packed because it's got a ton of secrets on disability benefits, many of which I'm pretty sure that you're not very familiar with. And I'd love to know from you in the comments below if it's something that you're learning new today. So let's head over to the iPad, and I'm going to guide you on how do you choose the best disability benefits. Now, our starting point here is to analyze what type of disability benefits are available to you. So what you would know is a standard disability benefit, and standard meaning if you happen to be unable to work, and maybe I should start there. The word disability means unable to work. So you're going to receive a benefit or a claim when you are unable to work. And there's two different types of disability, which I'll guide you through. So the standard disability claim, meaning if you're unable to do any type of occupation, then you're going to be able to receive a payment. And then you have something that is occupation specific. And what occupation specific is if you're unable to do your specific occupation. So I'm going to use an example to help illustrate this. Let's assume that you are a surgeon and you've studied now naturally to get to that level, and you've done more studies to get to the level of surgeon. It's a pretty specific occupation. So when you are taking out your disability benefit, you could ask the insurance company for an occupation-specific disability, meaning if you are unable to perform your duties as a surgeon, then they have to pay you out. What's the difference between the two? Well, on a standard, assume the surgeon had the standard benefit and happened to claim. Now the insurance company can say to the surgeon, look, you're unable to do the duties as a surgeon, but you can perform your duties maybe as a lecturer. So as a result, we're not paying you the full benefit, or all sorts of options become available at that time to the insurance company. Whereas here we are saying it is occupational specific. And then you have one. Let's just assume you are a home executive. So you have a disability that's called daily tasks. So if you're unable to do your duties, your daily tasks, duties, then you're able to make a claim on that. So you've got three different types of disability benefits. Naturally, the best of the three, the most comprehensive, is the occupation specific, but the insurance company would be very particular about who qualifies for this, because again, you've got to show that it's you're specializing in that particular field. Very often, you'd see the standard disability that most people have, and again, with the home executives having the daily task benefit. And then I want to talk you through temporary versus permanent disability. Again, another key factor here: temporary and permanent. So what's different? A temporary disability is simply something that you can recover from. So in this case, you can recover, and I'm going to use an example. Let's assume that you happen to, you fell down a flight of stairs and you broke your leg. You're unable to work for a certain period. Or, if you happen to have a heart attack and, you're unable to return to work for 6 months. The thing with temporary is it's something that you are going to recover from, meaning you can get back on your feet, you can get back to work. And that's what disability is. It's checking whether you're able to work or not. So if you are still able, that means you're not going to receive a payment on your permanent disability side. So on the permanent disability, you can see by nature, it's something that you cannot recover from. So this could be some type of accident, and as a result, or could be an illness, and as a result of which you just are not able to get back to performing your duties at work. In that case, that would be regarded as permanent, where you're never going to recover again. Now, usually on a permanent disability, there tends to be a 24-month waiting period here. And sometimes it could be shorter, again, depending on the severity of the disability and what the doctor actually says in the report. But usually the insurance companies do a sort of assessment. So they'd regard you as temporary disability, temporary disabled. So this is less than 24 months. So they regard you as temporary disabled. And if the same disability event leads to you, it comes to 24 months and you're still not able to return, then they transition you to permanent. So they transition you. Now, permanent is quite common for people to have. And perhaps you might have it if you already have one in place. But I want to talk a bit more about temporary and also in terms of how you can have the claim structured. So this secret here, you're going to love. You could choose the payment of disability to be in the form of income, or you could choose this to be in the form of lump sum. And let's go and compare the two. From an income perspective, you could actually approach the insurance company to say, look, your monthly expenses, I'm using an example, is 10,000. So your salary could be higher, but in my example, I'm saying your expenses come to 10,000. So you can now protect 10,000 as an income. See, in which case the insurance company can pay out that 10,000 if you're unable to work. And remember, you can split this into the two portions that I mentioned to you here. So you could take both temporary or permanent. So using an example, you can say to the insurance company, look, if I'm temporary disabled, I want to have this 10,000 rand paid to me every single month. You can also tell the insurance company, look, if I'm permanently disabled, I want to have 10,000 paid to me every single month. Okay? You can adjust this. You can even adjust this amount. But having a rand amount makes it a bit easier for you because you're able to budget. You know this is how much you're collecting every single month. There's no investment that needs to be done in terms of capital or anything of the sort. You know the insurance company is committing to you. And when you are designing your policy, you can also structure it that this rand amount has an increase in it as well. Now, on the other side, we've got lump sum disability, and this is paying a capital. It's a capital amount, and this is once off. So it's a once-off payment. For example, let's say the cover is 5 million. It's a once-off payment of 5 million. You would then have to invest that money in order to earn an income. How would we use the two? Well, income side, or sometimes it's referred to as income protection. You could use that when you are covering your monthly expenses. Again, when you're working temporary or permanent disability. And then where would you use the lump sum? Well, you could use the lump sum to cover, maybe there's changes that need to take place in your home. So however the disability affects your lifestyle, you've got a lump sum to cover that. You could use it to settle off any debt. So watch what happens. If your total expenses, let's say for the month, let's use an example. So I can help make this easy for you when you're doing so if your total expenses, let's say totals 20,000 and 10,000 is for 10,000 is for your living expenses. And then we'll say another 10,000, this is for your bond. Now, how you can structure this is you could design it in such a way that your income here, the income projection that you're taking, could be temporary and permanent, covering you for this 10,000 because that's what you need every month. You don't really need the 20 because what you could do is the bond itself, you can take a lump sum disability. That's enough to settle the bond. So because you're settling the bond on that disability, it means your total monthly expenses are going to reduce, which means then you can split, you're taking some of this to settle the lump sum and some of it to settle on the other side. I hope that makes sense. Yeah, but that's one of the key secrets that I want you to have when you're choosing disability. And there's just one more thing that I want you to be mindful of. Again, on the disability side, I spoke about it in the previous video when we were doing the life cover. And this is what's called group life cover. Group life cover. Now, here's the secret, and this can probably save you a fortune on premiums on disability benefit. If your company right now has some group life cover in place, you want to analyze how is that benefit structured. That benefit could be structured in the way of income. And I'm using an example. They could say to you that in the event of a disability, they'll pay you 75% of your salary. That's one way. It could be in the form of a lump sum. And in the lump sum, it could be, for example, 3 times annual salary. In which case, you still want to be mindful of that, because these 3 months of annual salary, that's basically covering 3 years. See, it's covering 3 years of income, which means when you are doing your income protection on this side, see, income protection, and when it's permanent, you can reduce that by 3 years because of it being covered already on the group life cover. Now, it's a bit tricky, but you can rewind to watch that last section. And in terms of a need for disability, we can end on that key point, because this is another technique you can use to save on premiums here. Usually disability benefits can run up to age 65, but you can adjust this accordingly. So let's say you're 30 now, you can run your disability benefits up to age 65 if that is your retirement age. But if retirement age for you is at age 60, then you can shorten your disability term by 5 years. So you can tell the insurance company that you want the cover to age 60. Doing it in that way means you're now saving 5 years. Your cover is 5 years less, which then means you're going to have a reduction in your premium. There are some companies that will allow you a whole life disability benefit, but you want to analyze that to see again, is that something that you need? Because having a whole life disability benefit means you're paying for a longer period. So again, you want to determine the value. Remember as well that on this end, you could have your pension fund, it could be your provident fund, or it could be your retirement annuity that you're contributing towards. And that value over time is going to increase. It's going to increase, again, if it's invested well and everything's going good, which means in the event of you coming to retirement now, so if you're retiring at 60, it's this capital that's starting to pay you an income. And that will pay you an income whether you're disabled or not. I'm giving you a key secret here, which means you then at retirement age will start to analyze, is it necessary for you to have disability benefits or not? In fact, you can start reducing cover before you come to retirement age, again, based on what your need is for the cover. So I hope you found these secrets helpful. You've got quite a lot now to analyze and to go through. I shared with you the term. I shared with you how to factor group life cover. You now know the different styles of disability, that you could have this in lump sum or as an income. And then you also know that it could be temporary or permanent. So when you are structuring your disability, how exactly are you putting that together? And in terms of the cover itself, what type of cover are you using? Standard, occupational, or daily tasks? So you've got all the secrets. I'd like you to comment below to share with me how you're using this information to apply into your life cover policy. Again, if you found this video helpful, or if you've learned something new that you didn't know, post in the comments below. I do read all of them, so I'd like to know how this is helping you. Excellent. I'm sure you've already done this. You've clicked on the subscribe button, so you're getting to see the videos that's coming up. I look forward to seeing you in the next video where I've got something amazing to share with you.